Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hungary for round 11 of my F1 2012 career mode in Season 3. I am LostBuds, and today we need to finish 3rd or above, which means I didn't get the thing on pole. So where did I actually end up? Well, I got into Q3 as you can see, but I have a worrying lack of pace on this circuit, especially for Legend mode anyway. Also, the lack of downforce I have as well. Didn't really think that would be too much of a problem, but it was, especially in the sector that I absolutely hate, which is Sector 2, which is the one that where I could have done with a bit of downforce. I should have used the setup I used last year, or last season should I say. First sector's always fast for me, like it is on most tracks. But I don't know what it is, why I have to be so fast in the first sector but drop so much time in the second sector. I mean, I know I didn't take this one as well as I could have done, but it just seems to be a way with the game. And one of the Mercedes is up front, Rosberg. Lucky actually not to touch him there. I don't know if I actually went through his tyre or not, but either way, he didn't actually mess up my lap. The lap after this one I tried to do another lap. Didn't quite work out. This one ended up being the faster one. Yeah, I don't know what it is sometimes with this game. The AI is supremely fast in some sectors and really slow in other sectors. I don't know why they just can't average it out over the lap. But whatever, I am 1.2 seconds off the pace. And that's put me in 6th on the 3rd row of the grid. Massa is actually down in around 15th or something like that. Again, still not performing to where he should be, but that's to be expected when when I join a team. The other guy tends to drop off the pace. Well, Massa's never been on the pace; he's only got 1 point over the whole season. So as you can see, I had a pretty decent start. Managed to help keep up with the guys, brake at the right time as well. Hamilton snuck through to take the lead. Up on the inside, so it's 2 McLarens up front, and I've made my way up to 3rd. Going around back of button here. But this is probably when they're going to start to pull away. My main target in this race is the Lotuses, so yeah, not too worried about the McLarens at the minute. I think they're a bit off in the championship. So I'm not too bothered if they go off and win or something, which it looks like they're going to do because they're already pulling away. How bad I am in the second sector, plus my lack of downforce as well. Don't really have great control of the car today. As I say, I only finished 4th in practice, so I could tell it wasn't going to be a brilliant day. Because usually if I'm fastest in practice, I know I'm pretty much on the pace. If I'm anywhere below 3rd or something, 2nd or 3rd, then I know I'm going to have a little bit of a problem. And I should have probably addressed that with my setup. But whatever, it's a challenge nonetheless. I've got Grosjean behind me, just to make sure I stay out his way. Of course, but probably lay off the Grosjean jokes now. He's much improved driver this season. Now I've said that, he'll probably go and crash in Spain or something. Yeah, and talking of the next race, it's still over a week away. Talk about F1 withdrawal symptoms. You get 2 races like pretty much back to back, and then you get China and Bahrain back to back, and then 3-week gaps in between them. I'm like, oh god, when is this drought going to end? Oh yeah, I suppose you've got a lot of races coming up. I mean, round 4, and it's going to be May. It's going to be May today, basically. I didn't even realise what the date was. It's already May. I didn't realise 2013 was going by that quickly. But yeah, can't wait for the next race in Spain. As I go wide here, Grosjean gets his nose past me, little bastard. And I have a complete lack of grip around these corners as well, which is mostly attributed to my lack of downforce, because the tyres aren't exactly that worn. No, they will be worn pretty soon. Excuse me. So yeah, I've also had a lack of uploads recently. Unfortunately, I've been a bit busy. That's life getting in the way. I managed to do that Surgeon Simulator in an hour, so that's why that one went up, you know, within 3 days, one after the other. And then I had the Race 07 one after that. But unfortunately, I've just been a bit busy. I just haven't had time to do any commentary, that's all. But yeah, don't worry guys, I am working on it. I'm never just stopping for the sake of it. I'm trying to find time as much as I can, but unfortunately life does have a habit of getting in the way. But anyway, back to F1. Don't quite know what to say at the moment. Yeah, because there's a slide. Just wondering when Grosjean's going to get past, because it's going to happen eventually. Because just coming around to get, he's going to get DRS on me in a moment. I was kind of hoping I'd have straight line speed here, and I do. I do actually. I did race this a couple of weeks ago, so I'm a bit, yeah, can't remember what's happening. But never mind. But yeah, back to F1 as I go wide. Here he goes, there goes Grosjean and Raikkonen, and even Schumacher's having a look. So while I chase after Raikkonen, let's have a look at the news so far since I last done a video. One of the main stories, Bernie Ecclestone makes the prize fund changes. Apparently the last place team at the end of the season will not receive any prize money. Apparently it's an incentive to get into the top 10. I mean, really? Do you really think they want to be down the bottom? Caterham and Marussia fighting it out? They're already fighting it out now. It's not as if there's one of them's HRT. They've gone now. You know, they were always going to be at the back. But they're trying to get into the midfield. I mean, it's not as if they're not trying. It's not as if they're doing a half-assed job. I just don't know where that thinking comes in for as an incentive. I mean, they wouldn't be in F1 if they weren't into racing and didn't want to compete. So I don't know. It's just another bloody money-saving exercise, so he can keep the money for himself, I expect, or in the group or whatever. Keep their profits up. But I don't know, whatever. I don't know much about the story, I just know it's a thing. I haven't really read up on it that much. Just hope it's not a silly ploy to get only 10 teams on the grid so they can have like third cars or whatever in teams. Which would be interesting, yeah, but whatever. And also, what's another news about tyres as well. Pirelli have made a change to their hard tyre, making it a bit more durable, but they're leaving all the other compounds untouched. So no real changes there, apart from, you know, obviously making the hard tyre a bit harder. Obviously resisting the pressure from Red Bull and probably a couple of other teams, to make tyres a bit more predictable and boring, I suppose. I understand where they're coming from. They want to push all the time and they want to go proper racing rather than save the tyres. But yeah, I don't know. It does kind of make the racing more tactical and quite interesting, but I mean, in the old days, you couldn't always go 100% flat out anyway. I mean, even in the days we had to make a tyre last a race. I think that was a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You had to make a tyre last a whole race. Because the reason I say correct me if I'm wrong is because that was a period where I actually didn't get much of a chance to watch Formula 1. But I think that was a thing. That was a time for conserving tyres as well. Plus, you had refueling as well, so it was less hard on the tyres anyway. But you know, tyre management is more of a thing these days because of how quickly they go off. But either way, that's Pirelli's news.
The pit crew are ready for you at the end of this lap.
And pit crew are ready for me. Blimey, I sound enthusiastic today. I have to admit I'm a bit drunk, so I might not make a lot of sense, but I wanted to do a commentary anyway because it's been too long. It's been like a few days. It's long enough in my book. So I probably won't be making much sense at all indeed. Ugh. So look at these other news, other news, and let's have a look at news about more circuits being introduced in 2014 and 2015. Possibilities of Thailand, New Jersey probably coming on next year. Couldn't make it into this year, which is why we've got 19 races this year, which is a bit annoying. Also the Russian Grand Prix, looking to get in 2014 as well. Yeah, so it looks like some of the traditional circuits may lose out as I do another lovely little slide as I'm about to go into the pits. Another example of Codemaster's stupid pit engineer apparently telling me the car behind is going to use DRS when I'm coming into the pits. Like I really care that he's going to use DRS. He could go 30 miles an hour and still pass me. But whatever, that's another rant for another day. But yeah, back to these new tracks. If they don't get rid of any of the old traditional ones, it could end up being a 21 or 22 race season, which I don't think teams are going to be up for, especially with the costs involved. And you know, the time it's a pretty packed calendar as it is. I know I moan about 3-week gaps in between, but they have got teams have got a hell of a lot of work to do. They practically work all year round, apart from the summer break, and you know, like a couple of weeks during Christmas or something. So I suppose 20 is around about the limit. 21 at a push. So yeah, there's a few tracks that have contracts that run to around 2015, 2016. Like Korea's on the calendar until 2016, but not many people like that circuit at all, which is understandable. So that won't be going anytime soon. Barcelona could disappear at some point. I hope it doesn't, because I quite like that circuit as it is, even though they've ruined the last sector with that safety chicane. Annoyingly, Bahrain's going to have to stay because you know, even Ecclestone wants it there for another 5 years at least, and not many people are a fan of that circuit or a fan of going to the country. So yeah, don't know how long that's going to last, but I expect it will stay for a while, considering there's money there. There's some sort of reports also of France and Belgium alternating Grand Prix. Like, yeah, do you really want to get rid of Spa, one of the most iconic circuits ever? That's a bit... I don't know. I hope they don't get rid of Spa. I think they should keep the classic circuits on there. Monaco is protected. No one will ever get rid of Monaco for some reason. Monaco's fine for watching qualifying, but during the race it is literally just a procession. Although it's good to see, it's quite fun for me to see drivers being precise and accurate going around those tight streets, but for racing it's pretty dull, you have to admit. But yeah, unfortunately that's probably going to be on the calendar. Oh, I say unfortunately, but it's one of those races you cannot not have on the calendar. Like Monza as well, for example. That's such a historic track as well. Silverstone, I'd always want a Grand Prix in Britain, not because I'm British myself, because that's where it all began, pretty much. It's been on the British Grand Prix has been on the Canada in one form or other since 1950, so you know, that's why I want to keep the historical ones on there, like Silverstone and Spa. And Monza is down there as well, because that's a terrific, simple, terrific circuit. You can go flat out. But yeah, I don't really know what ones they should get rid of, to be honest. Valencia I don't miss, to be honest. I don't miss driving it, I don't miss watching it, apart from last year when it was actually quite interesting for the first time ever, and then they drop it, which is quite funny. Germany already alternates, so I don't think they'll, unless they have a problem with finances, I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. Canada's one that might be at risk. It's been dropped before. They didn't race it in 2009. It apparently doesn't pay much in hosting rights as well. Apparently far less than the others on the calendar. So it's not exactly a profitable option for the Formula 1 management. So and it's also got improvements that need doing to it anyway, apparently, from what I've read. So that could be for the chop at some point, which is a shame because I do like Canada, strangely enough. When I first started playing it as a gamer, I was like, yeah, this isn't a particularly brilliant place to be. I hate the little chicanes here and there, but actually I got used to it and found that it was really quite nice to drive. So it'd be a shame to see that one go. I suppose it would go in favour, you know, if they had the choice between America and Canada, they would go for America because there's more money there, more markets as well for cars. And well, they could end up replacing Canada with Mexico, for example, and they're not. Eccleston's not exactly against having a Mexican Grand Prix. It's a pretty big market as well. They've been there before. What about Brazil? They might be dropped as well. Bloody Peak getting in my way. Totally messed me up, that did. I could have controlled that more, yes, but still, whatevs. Yeah, Brazil. Brazil's an aging circuit. It's narrow. It's a narrow but fun circuit. You can tell it's definitely been made. It was definitely built decades ago because it desperately needs some renovation work. So if they don't do that, then that could be dropped. Oh, this is a particular minefield. This is hurting my brain. What happened there is I accidentally moved in on Schumacher too late. So I actually got hooked up on him, and then that pushed me onto the grass, which is why he's now in front of me. because I can't carry the speed that he can going around that corner, unfortunately. But yeah. It's just a shame because I have to be quite slow around these corners, which is why I can't catch up. And then going to the second sector as well, that allows him to build a little bit of a gap, just a little bit, especially if I mess up like that, riding the curbs too much. It's just fair to say that this wasn't a great day for me racing. Yeah, going to Brazil, you never know, that could be dropped, even though it's has been the scene of such great showdowns over the years. You know, that could be dropped in favour of an Argentinian Grand Prix, for example. They've been on the calendar before and dropped. Portugal could come back, but it's unlikely. But there's so many options. This is getting ridiculous. In that new Russian circuit at Sochi, whatever the hell however the hell you say it. In fact, it's a street circuit. I think it's a street circuit. I'm so confused at all these new circuits. I can't remember if the one I was looking at was a street circuit or not, but one of them was a street circuit. Yeah, as it looks okay, but if it's another street circuit, then hopefully the streets will be as wide as they are, at least in Singapore. But then again, Singapore is not exactly a great overtaking track anyway, except for one or two sections on it. Yeah, I'd like to see more openish circuits, not to the extent of Abu Dhabi though. We got runoff everywhere, pretty much. Well, not everywhere. Just had to think about that one. I don't like these circuits that have got loads of runoff, but I also don't like the circuits that are too narrow and closed off. I like somewhere in the middle, like Hungary here, for example. If you go too far off the line, you're buggered. But you do have a little bit of leeway. It's a shame this circuit's not used more often, which is why it's so dusty when all the F1 guys get there. But never mind. I don't know if that's simulated in any way in this game, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's probably why I don't have much grip where going around some of these corners sometimes, especially in the wet. But yeah, I'm basically doing a crap coverage of the news in the world of F1 this time round. My commentary's not too brilliant today, as I've explained. I'm a little bit tipsy, but still, if anyone knows any more about the new races that are going to push aside the old ones, or the old ones being dropped, new ones coming in, or whatever, feel free to let me know in the comments what's going on, because I do read quite a lot of reports online. Some of them are rumour, some of them are almost concrete, but it's not set concrete, if you know what I mean. But it's just a lot of rumours flying around at the moment. But you won't really know too much until those calendars actually get released and people do their meetings and all their business deals and all that. I mean, let's just face it, it all comes down to money anyway, so it doesn't matter how good the track is or how crap it is. Depends what the investment is, doesn't it? Which is the way the world works and the way F1 works nowadays, which is unfortunate, but you know, you got to move with the times, haven't you? But yeah, it's enough of that for now, because I'm clearly not going anywhere with this anymore. Because I'm rubbish today. I feel not doing my commentary any favours whatsoever. Most of you know I do ramble on about crap most of the time. Even if it's F1 related crap or not, I do go on a bit about nothingness. But still. So, lap 17 of 18. Well, I really have been rambling on. So, where are we in this race? We're 5th, yep. We are 5th, we're not... You see how much of a gap Schumacher has pulled out on us since he overtook us? 8.5 seconds. That is disgraceful. I should not be that slow. It's not right.
We advise mix 2. We're comfortable at the moment.
And now I've got to turn my engine back down to around 2, or back down to 2. We should do that now. There we go. So I really don't want to run out of fuel, especially now I've got a little bit of a spud train behind me. Even Massa's catching up to me. He's at the back of that little train, which shows my complete lack of pace today. I should be better in Spa, which is more of a track that favours. Well, it seems to favour me this year. In F1 2011 it didn't. I wasn't that great on it, but for some reason in this game I do pretty well on it, providing I have the right setup, I suppose. The right setup always helps. I know you can. I know there's people out there that say the setups don't exactly affect much. Yes, they do. I can feel it in the corners, how much I can push into corners. And yes, Rosberg goes past. Oh god, I just edge him out here a bit. I had to push him, otherwise I was never going to get past him again. And Rosberg actually lost out 2 positions there. He's tucked in behind Raikkonen, who wants to have a go at my 5th place. I really do not want that to happen. Raikkonen being 3rd in the championship this season, because you've got Grosjean and Raikkonen right behind me in terms of the standings. So if I can score more points than Raikkonen, that would at least be helpful, because Grosjean's up there in 3rd, I believe. I think it's a McLaren 1-2 today. As you can see, Lewis Hamilton has won the race. Schumacher's in 4th, so Button must be around 2nd or 3rd, and then Grosjean is 2nd or 3rd. So we'll soon find out in a moment anyway. So not a brilliant race for me today. As you can see, I was quite off the pace. Felipe Massa didn't score any points again in 14th. I failed my objective of finishing on the podium. And yes, it was McLaren 1-2 with Romain Grosjean finishing 3rd. What else we got here? Kimi Raikkonen, yeah, right behind me. Perez 8th. Terrestre in Force India's. Force India's doing a lot better this season. Caterham's up there in midfield again. Mark Webber did not finish for some reason. Don't know why. HRT's mixing it up at the back with the Toro Rossos and Mauritius. But the good thing is I am still leading the Drivers' Championship, looking to defend my title to get double championship if possible. But Roman is 14 points behind, Kimi is 27. So definitely not safe at the moment. There's Felipe down in 17th, 1 solitary point, which is irritating. I think we could pretty much write off the Constructors' Championship this year, because when we get to the next screen you will see how far we're behind. And there we are, down in 4th, 139 points behind Lotus, whose drivers are both scoring high amounts of points, and now we're getting swamped by McLaren and Mercedes. 20 points behind Mercedes now, so this is not good. There may be a huge gap to Red Bull behind, but it's still a little bit embarrassing. Well, Join me next time for round 12 in Spa. Thanks for joining me for a rambling session. I'll see you then.